kids, did you ever want to learn how to find your way around the guitar? Maybe you're new to the guitar, in open position perhaps. Scales are an excellent way to work on technique because the simple what of what they are, you're not having to imagine a melody or anything like that. You're just following a recipe, so to speak, of note to note. You can focus on how you're doing what you're doing, and that's the main reason music teachers like me love to teach people scales, is because we can help you work on the most efficient technique possible. So I'm going to just take a look now at some G major scales in open position. Let's see what happens. G. Okay, so leaving the right hand aside for the moment, you can pick it or you can pluck it with your fingers or do whatever you'd like to do for the moment. I'm going to start on the littlest string, and I'm just going to play a 1 octave scale descending from G at the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Like that. 1 second. Yes. So, I've got all of my fingers on the string, and I'm doing that on purpose, and I'm going to explain that a little bit as I go, but, and then I'm going to, so I've got all my fingers at the 3rd fret, and then I'm going to my second finger at the 2nd fret, and my first finger is just hanging out in support there at the 1st fret. And then I'm playing the open string, so I let go of everybody, and then I put all my fingers down at the 3rd fret, with the 4th finger at the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then I release to the 1st finger at the 1st fret, and then the open 2nd string, and then go to the 2nd finger at the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, with the 1st finger supporting, and then release to the open string. Just nice and easy. And what you want to work on is just making the scale as legato as you can at first, which is to say that you want the notes to last until you play the next note. So as you find the locations and you can successfully move from note to note, then what you want to do is kind of think a little ready, set, go. And now I have to start talking about the right hand. So right now I'm playing with a pick, so we'll talk about that. And I'm holding the pick beneath my thumb, between my thumb and the side of my index finger, just like that. And so it's on, let's see how I can show you that. It's on the side of my index finger as opposed to being held at the tip. The reason why that's great and important is because then the pick takes on the angle of your forearm, and we get a little slight deviation in the angle from just flat on the string, which is nice and helps the pick slide through the string. So then just go ahead and take the pick and just practice swinging through the 1st string like that. So I'm just going right through. I'm actually using a little bit of deviation of the wrist, so from side to side, but mostly I'm turning it. And what you want to do with the pick there is once you get past the 1st string, it's great to practice in the very beginning. I want to see if I can show you this real up close. What's called a rest stroke. So you take the pick and you go through the 2nd string and land on the 1st string. That way you're constantly measuring the distance between the strings and learning how far apart they are, so you'll have better skills at finding the right string you want to find. And it's also really great at helping get really good tone production because we get the pick moving in the direction that we want it to. The idea is, as much as we can, we want to actually have the string going. We want to push the string into the guitar and let it bounce out, because this produces really good tone. So, some rest strokes. And then we bring it back to both hands so you can sing both hands working together. And so while you do this, to achieve this legato on this descending, what you need to pay attention to is sounding the two hands together. And so all we want to do is just go as slow as we need to. And you can kind of, because what we're looking at is the intersection between each note, one note and the next note. And so we don't want to hurry, because what happens when we hurry is we'll hurry this one along to get closer, but when we do that, we'll hurry that one and they'll stay the same distance apart. So what we really kind of want to do is go, okay, I'm holding this note, and am I ready on the left? Am I ready on the right? And go. So while you're first working on this coordination to get legato, you just want to think, okay, ready, set, go. And what happens as we're going down, and I'm going to move the hands together so I can show you a little closer, but as we're moving together, is that I'm releasing these two fingers, letting them go, right as I swing the pick again. And then releasing these two fingers as I swing it again. And then as I go from the open string to the third fret, right there, it's a little bit different because I'm putting all my fingers down right at that moment. And it's okay, in fact, it's very good to just practice each moment, each transition between notes. And then keep going. And with the left hand, you want to just try to be getting on your fingertips as much as you can, so that this is called the distal joint of your finger. It's the last joint. The reason it's the distal joint is because it's the greatest distance from you. And you want to get the distal joint so it's nearly perpendicular to the fretboard, as you can see kind of right there. It's not totally perpendicular, but almost. Just getting right up on the fingertips. It helps us with tone and flexibility and getting around other strings as we go. And one thing that can help with that, when you're playing on the top few strings, it's okay actually, if you're just playing on the top 3 strings, if you like, you can start with a little bit of mandolin technique with the thumb over. As you approach the lower strings, which I'm going to do in the next video, you're going to find that you're going to want to lower the thumb down on the back of the neck for sure. So you can play with that too, as oftentimes, the capo's in the way a little bit here, but oftentimes I'll have the neck about, or the thumb somewhere around the midline of the neck, or the middle of the neck in the back. So. And then you can come back up. Ready, set, go. 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 Just take your time. Go slow and be patient. Do little short practice sessions, maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Do something else for a while. Do some homework, do some work. Wash the dishes, walk the dog, whatever it is. Then come back and do some more. A few, maybe 3 5-minute sessions in a day is really a lot better than like 1 20-minute session, because then you'll be very mentally present, and that's the most important thing you can bring. Okay, go forth and shred.